Hey everybody. So I've come up with a list of things that can really help you out in your travels and base building and just in general gameplay of Valheim. So I've made this just off of my experience of things I wish I had known or thought about or anything like that. And the first tip that I have, and it's a huge tip, I wish that I would have known about it before I went trying to mine all this copper and all this tin and stuff. And it's simply use a cart. So normally you have enough weight where you can carry about one stack, maybe a little bit less. When it has to do with copper or tin or any metal in general. And so I went and I did that and I went and took 10 trips trying to get copper, trying to get tin, all this stuff so I can make bronze. When really all I had to do was just take one trip, get a little bit of copper, get a little bit of tin, and then I could have made bronze nails, which unlocks the cart. Okay, so this cart, let me get to the storage part. You can actually hold 18 slots instead of just the one slot of, copper or what have you any other time. And you can carry it, just like you would anything else. The only downside to it is, if you were going uphill, then it makes you incredibly slow. Now, you're incredibly fast going downhill, but it's just one of those things you need to know. So, if you're running and you have a full cart, and then, you have a troll pop up, it will murder you if you're trying to go uphill. You can still attack, but you're not very mobile. You'll be able to tell. So the way you get onto it is you just go between these little, I guess you call them arms, and you hit E, and you just literally walk around with it, and then that's just how you use it, and it's very easy, but at the same time it's just one of those things. Now and I've had this happen where I was trying to run from a troll and I had one of these things on. It did not end well. However, when he destroyed it, all the stuff that I had in it dropped into boxes called cargo, and they didn't despawn. Not to say that they won't, but I had it out there for about a day and a half, 2 days before I could buy or build a boat to go get my stuff. I was moving everything over to the new base. As you can see, I built something a little bit better than the last base. But that's tip number one. Now, tip number two is you need to have different foods. And you can make food, start off making your foods on a campfire. You can make necktail and, regular cooked meat, stuff like that. But the good stuff comes when you can start making recipes. So if you look, I have sausages that you get that from killing Draugr, and then you get their entrails, which is really gross. You're technically eating dead people. But that actually gives you 60 health and 40 stamina for 1600 seconds. That is a huge boost. Compared to yellow mushroom, gives you 20 and 20 for 600 seconds. And then you got Queen's Jam. That's made, you get 4 Queen's Jam by making, or putting 8 of the blueberries, 8 of the raspberries into the pot or kettle. And then carrot soup, that gives you 20 and 60. So all good things. All things I would definitely recommend getting as soon as you can, because this isn't like a normal game. You can level up your health, yada yada. You actually get better health, get better stamina by the different foods that you eat. So that's just something you need to take into account. You always need to have a good stock of food. So that's tip number 2, and then that brings me down to different like armors, different shields, stuff like that. Um, and this is also pretty imperative. Like if you're going into like the swamp, swamp has an unnecessary amount of bad guys. Just gonna put that out there. Put that out there. Um, if I, me going to the swamp, this is like the best tier you can get in before you get the iron out of the swamp. But it's the only tier I would recommend using to go there. As you can see, it weighs about 10 pounds, and it's got 8 armor with 1,000 durability. So that's pretty good right there. And I also got the bronze buckler, and that does a good amount of blocking. I'm sure that there's going to be better stuff with iron and all that. I haven't gotten there yet because I've looked it up, but I could not find where the crypts are yet. I am looking, and I will do a tutorial on all that. But I have gotten the bronze buckler, and it has so far been able to block just about everything. It can't block trolls, and there's the wraiths in the swamp. They do a little bit of damage, but still, it is imperative to have a good shield, because that stun, if you time it right, that's what's going to win you most of your fights. Now, I did put other tiers in here. I got troll leather, which that's pretty good armor. If you kill enough trolls, you can make this yourself. I do have the troll hide cape on. Now, the cool thing about the trolls armor is it increases your sneak by 25% per thing. So you can increase your sneak 100% just by having a full set of troll armor on. So as you can see, it's all 6 except for the cape. The cape only gives you 1 armor. And then you got the regular leather, and that's good if you're starting out. It's like a 6 deer hide per, and it's good if you're starting out, but as soon as you can upgrade to troll leather, do that, because it'll make being able to get bronze leather, or bronze armor, excuse me, that much easier, because you won't die nearly as fast. Which, if you're going to get bronze stuff, I recommend using this cart right here. It makes it so much easier. You can go and mine as much as you want and bring that back to smelt, and you can do it so much faster. You're not making those huge trips back and forth. Now, with that being said, I am going to tell you a little bit about building and farming and stuff like that. So if you come in here, these things don't create smoke, but they do create light, and you fuel them by giving them resin. However, if you have a campfire in your house, which I would probably think that you are, because you have to have a campfire near your bed, you're going to want to have something open, because otherwise the smoke will fill your house up. So what I did was I just raised it up a little bit using the pillars that I already had. I did not mean to sit, but just using the pillars that I already had to make my second floor, I just raised it up one more level, and then put a roof over top of that, so that I still wouldn't be getting any rain damage or putting the fire out, which is another thing. So like walls, floors, pillars, poles, all that gets damaged by rain. So do your stacks of wood. If it doesn't have a roof over it and it's wood, most likely it's going to get damaged. There's a few exceptions to the rule. Campfires don't get damaged. Obviously, roofs don't get damaged, because that's what's blocking the rain. And then the palisades, the essentially spiked walls, those don't get damaged either. once you upgrade to, you know, stone and stuff like that, that doesn't get damaged by rain, but all other wood structures do, including like the workbench and stuff. So if you have a workbench that you're using just to, you know, build, still put a roof over it, because I think it's like 2 rains it'll mess it up bad. Um, Now the there's two other things that I'm going to mention, and that is you need to do your boss fights because each boss fight gives you a new tier of technology. The first boss fight gives you his antler, which makes it so you can make a pickaxe, which makes it so that you can go get copper and tin and stuff like that that you need to get, you know, because once you do that, then you can make bronze tier pickaxes and bronze weapons. I mean, this right here, this axe is so OP. I mean, that's the axe that I use to do fighting as well as chopping wood. It's OP. As well as, you know, I'd use my fine wood bow, but it it can double. That axe can double as a weapon. You know, just regular fighting like I use it in the swamps. It's a really good axe. Um, but do your boss fights. Every time you do a boss fight, it will help you out. I've done the elder boss, and that gives you the key to go into the swamp and unlock crypts, which gives you iron. And I'm still in the process of finding the crypts, but I will, and I will do the tutorial like I said. I promise you. And the last thing is do your different boats. You know, don't just go and get this raft. This raft is really bad. It's slow. You know, it tips over. I tried to put a cart on one of these bad boys, and it just like instantly tipped over. If you can, build you one of these bad boys. They are a lot faster. It has a little bit of storage in it. It has 4 slots of storage. You can see that it's on the floor right here. I got a little bit of wood, a little bit of stone in here just for like when I'm traveling. I don't have to go farm. I can just go put down a little fob real quick. But build one of these. It's a lot better, and you're going to need to use a boat to get around. Not only just to get off your little island, but to get around your island. I use this boat to find the swamps, and it made it so much faster just using a boat than it would to do, you know, just to run there. Because I apologize about my dog. I'm sure you can hear him whimpering. But use your boat. But those are my tips. I think it's like 5 or 6 tips, but it will help you out. Little bonus tip too. Use these. They are portals. Like this one takes me back to my first base. I got another one leading to the mountain area and a little fob that I have over there. It makes it so much easier. You can't transport metal, and I placed this one backwards, by the way, so just excuse that. But yeah, you can't transport metal, but you can transport just about everything else, including the certling cores. So take advantage of them. It's definitely worth it. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'll try to upload here soon. Thanks, guys.